John Ross, 27 years old. Again, I'm intrigued. And he's not, unlike Will Fuller or Corey Davis or even Samuel Watkins to a lesser degree or an Allen Robinson, he's not going to cost you a lot of money. Now, you might not be able to sign him for a long-term deal. And why would you want to? You could sign him to a 3-year deal, but there better be an exit ramp after year 1. Just in case you realize, oh, this is what Cincinnati saw out of this kid. However, he's not going to cost you. You could get John Ross for a 3-year, $27 million deal. You can get John Ross on a 3 for $24 special. If I'm him, I'm not signing that. I just want a 1-year, $7.5, $8 million deal. You know, 4.5 if you try to play me and say, hey, you ain't done shit. I say, hey, it's that 3-game stretch in 2018. Go look it up. Or 2019. Go look it up. Whatever. I like John Ross. Antonio Brown, he's 33 years old. Had a fan, Washington fan bring him up to me the other day. Say, hey, he might have learned something in Tampa. He can still play. We all see that. Somebody might be willing to take a risk, and it's not going to cost you as much as it would have in the past. I'm good. I think Ron's good. I think we're good. Curtis Samuel. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. He's 25. He's got familiarity with Ron and with Marty. It just makes too much sense. We need a guy with speed and diversity. He's going to end up being the guy we sign in free agency. I'm convinced of it. He came here. Ron gave him a test. He passed it with flying colors, put up over 170 yards of total offense on our ass. He's going to be a Washington football team member. I can see it now. Juju Smith-Schuster. He's 25. He's going to command a big deal on the free agent market. Not a speed demon by any stretch of the imagination, but he does all of the dirty work. He'd fit here in Washington. Don't think he's going to be in Washington, though. He's the kind of guy I think Rivera likes on the field. I don't know if they love his antics, if you would even call them that, off of it. Nelson Aguilar, 28 years old. I know a lot of you are like, hey, Nelson Aguilar stinks. I remember him from Philadelphia. Hey, pump your brakes. Nelson Aguilar had a tremendous season in Vegas. If I'm the Raiders, I want him back. I think he'll be back in Vegas, honestly speaking. But he is available. You talk about wanting a guy with speed. Nelson Aguilar can run. And when Nelson is on, just like he was in 2017 for the Eagles, Nelson's a problem. Just like he was this year for opposing defenses. Go ask the Chiefs. Go ask the Dolphins. Ask any team that played the Raiders this year. Nelson Aguilar, problem. Panthers, Bills, he scorched them all. Isaiah McKenzie. Not going to hear a lot about him. He's 26 years old. Buffalo Bills football player, wide receiver. He's a little bit of everything. He's what I'm trying to remember the guy for the Steelers, what his name is. I can't remember. He's like the equivalent of like a Tavon Austin, Isaiah McKenzie is, except he's a better receiver. I like him because if you don't go after John Ross, you can go after Isaiah McKenzie. Here's why. Not going to cost you a lot now. I think Isaiah McKenzie is going to cost you a little bit more than John Ross, but because he's done a little bit more. But Isaiah McKenzie can also return kicks. He can return punts for you. He can do a little bit of everything, and we don't actually have a punt returner on the roster right now. So that's why a guy like Isaiah McKenzie, for me, is so intriguing. And he's a speed demon. Chris Godwin. He's 25. I don't see any way he gets out of Tampa Bay. No way, no how. But if he does, I'm interested. Even though we've seen him drop passes. He dropped like 20 of them against us. Don't care. Or as A wise man once told me 100% don't like them. The drops I'm referring to, 100% don't care. Kenny Golladay. He's 28. Going to command top dollar on the free agent market. He's a bona fide number one. Had some health concerns in Detroit. But when he's healthy, and he's played full 16-game seasons before. When he's healthy, he's a beast. I'd love to have him. If you're willing to pay Allen Robinson, then you should be willing to pay Kenny Golladay. They're both 28. Be interesting to see what happens there. Here's another guy you probably never heard of. I like him a lot. His name's Tim Patrick. Plays for the Denver Broncos. Big kid, undrafted, making plays. He's 28 years old. But I saw a guy this year that when Cortland Sutton went out, stepped up and said, if you need somebody, I'm the man. Didn't expect that from Tim Patrick, but he did. I like him. And he's not going to cost you as much as Kenny Golladay, even though he can do some Kenny Golladay-like shit. He's great value Kenny Golladay. Okay. He's Dollar Tree Kenny Golladay. But he's still functional. Costs you a hell of a lot less, too. Allen Lazard, 26 years old. Green Bay Packers wide receiver. Showed some things this year. Showed a little bit of it last year, but really kind of broke out this year. Had an injury this year, but when he was healthy early in the season, and even when he came back, he was a difference maker. Big guy, can run a little bit. I'm good on Allen Lazard. Let somebody else try to get something out of one of these Green Bay Packers misfits. The Lions signed Geronimo Allison. Geronimo! I think he might have opted out this past year, but let somebody else pay the Packers cast-offs at receiver. Zach Pascal. I brought him up like a month ago on the show. A lot of you said, hey, he was here in Washington. I was like, you sure? And then I had just a bunch of people inundating me with, Zach Pascal was here. I got his autograph. Okay, I believe you guys. And I looked it up. He was here. He had a hell of a season. Really a nice 2-year run in Indy. He's 27. I'm a Monarch. He's a Monarch. So I'm rooting for him. Don't know if Zach Pascal is what I'm looking for here. Not what I'm looking for. But he can help somebody. Probably best if he stays in Indy, though. Probably best. Keelan Cole, Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver. 28 years old. Really talented guy. Can run a little bit. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he makes plays. I like Keelan Cole. And if they added Keelan Cole, I would say, hey, that's cool, but go get me another dude. But if you already got somebody and you added Keelan Cole, I'd be like, hey, I love it. So understand that Keelan Cole is a guy that I like. I don't love. I like him, though. And then Cam Sims, our guy, 25 years old, really young. Fits in the time frame of what we're looking to do. Showed some things last year. Showed some real promise that I don't think all of us knew. There are a lot of people out there that were like, Cam Sims is a beast. We just got to give him a chance. Well, they were vindicated. He played really well. But there was a drop on about 1 out of every 5 targets, it felt like. And I'm probably being a little over-aggressive with that number. It might have been like 1 out of every 8 targets. But it was still too many damn drops. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't like him back. It just means I don't want him back as my number 2 primary target. If he's the 3rd option or the 4th option, I'll take it. If he's the 2nd option again, we're in trouble. He won't be. He won't be. So I've put these receivers into tiers. Tier 1 are your elite free agent wide receivers, going to command top dollar on the open market. And if you want one of these guys, you're going to have to come up off of, at minimum, 16 mil per year. It probably goes as high as 22 million per year, but it's as low. The floor is 16 with these guys. Then tier 2, you're looking at guys that you can get from anywhere from $10 million a year to $15 million a year. That's what it's going to cost you. They're not as dynamic as the guys in tier 1, but they're not that far off either. And then you have tier 3. It's just everybody else. It's a guy that may be an aging veteran that you may throw a bone to. It's a guy that hasn't produced a ton in his last stop, but he's got talent, but he just maybe needs an opportunity. Maybe he didn't get, like Logan Thomas, for instance. That guy's in tier 3. So, tier 1 wide receivers: Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, Chris Godwin, Juju Smith-Schuster, Will Fuller. Those are your tier 1 wide receivers. Gonna command top dollar on the open market. I went to sportrack.com, one of my favorite sites when I'm talking free agency, and they have projections for player values going into free agency. For Allen Robinson, his next deal is estimated at $20.1 million. So if you want Allen Robinson, I've been throwing out 3 years, $60 million, 62 is what I said. I think it'll be a little bit over $20 million. That's what it's going to take.
LouieTeeNetwork.